My Vote Counts is the organization that went to court to try to force political parties to disclose their donors. Now, last year, the Western Cape High Court said knowing where political parties get their funding is central to an informed vote. For more on this, we joined by Janine Ogle, the National Coordinator of My Vote Counts. Ms. Ogle, thank you very much for joining us tonight. So you were at Concord this today, listening to those arguments. I think, first of all, are you confident that the Constitutional Court will give you the confirmation that you're looking for?
I think we're positive. I don't think you could ever be confident with any court case, but we're really positive. I mean, one of the things that transpired today was that the Minister of Justice conceded one of the orders that initially they were arguing against. So the first order that says that access to this information that we're asking for is reasonably required for the effective exercise of the right to vote, which was the first order of the Cape Town High Court judgment. They conceded that yes, that should be granted. It's the second order around the constitutional validity of PIA that we seem to differ quite a bit today.
Very interesting and curious, I might add, that political parties are actually not even challenging this. The only respondent on this is the Minister of Justice. Are you not curious as well about why political parties would not want to try and block this? Or have they said that, look, we're willing to disclose?
I mean, the Democratic Alliance did challenge this in the Cape Town High Court. So they were the second respondent in the Cape Town High Court on this matter.
What was the reasoning they put forward?
Well, their main reasoning is that they believe that their donors have the right to privacy and that right supersedes the right to the public's access to information in this regard.
And therefore, then, I think that leads us then to the question that I want to put to you. What is the main concern about the secret funding of these political parties? What really is the major concern here? I
think, you know, the current environment is completely secret. When it comes to the private funding of political parties, there's no requirement, no regulation as to how that happens. So the environment is completely in secret. All the activities take place in secret. And I think it goes against the spirit of the Constitution, and it goes against the principle of transparency in our Constitution. And if you look at the fact that political parties are not like any other organization, they play a very pivotal role in our democracy. They play a very pivotal role in the handing over of power from one administration to another. We cannot say that they should be held to less standards of transparency or accountability than other organizations. If anything, they should be held to higher standards of transparency and accountability. And that's why we say that the secrecy has to stop.
The other element here that I think you put forward was around the ethics of the donors themselves, people who may possibly come with ulterior motives to try and influence the formulation of government policy, for example, or even try to meddle in politics. I don't know whether you would want to link the current topical debate in the country that continues, by the way, around the Guptas. Would you say that the kind of investigations that are ongoing right now in relation to the Guptas is perhaps more reason why there should be legislation that regulates political party funding?
I think it's timely that My Vote Counts is undertaking this, these activities at this time, that our court cases are taking place at this time, with all that, with the current discussions around the Guptas and state capture. But I think we must be, often we're asked, where's your proof that people are unduly influencing political parties, that there's all this happening behind the scenes? And I think that's asking the wrong question, because what's actually happening is that with the fact that we don't know what's going on is decreasing trust in our political system. It's decreasing trust in our electoral system. So the question that should be asked is, what is this perception doing in terms of the sentiment towards our politics, towards our parliament and our government and our electoral system as a whole, if we don't know what's going on?
Ultimately, you're pushing for transparency. Do you think that South Africans will benefit greatly from knowing who funds these political parties, and perhaps once they know the kind of values that these donors that they accept money from sort of subscribe to, then they're able to make a better informed decision when they go and put their X on the ballot.
I definitely think it will make a difference. I think it will take time. I mean, one of the arguments in the court today raised by one of the justices was, who says that people want this information? You may want it, maybe some of the people you know may want it, but who says that everyone wants it? I think if you've never had the information, you may not know how much you actually want it. If you don't know that a particular political party is receiving funds from a company that you really, whose values you really are against, until you have that information, you won't know what a big difference it makes to you actually making that choice as to who to vote for. So I think, you know, as the information comes out, once people know that they can access this information, people will start to care about the information even more, and then it will make an even bigger difference when people go to vote.
All right, thank you very much, Janine Ogle. She is the coordinator for the organization My Vote Counts.